name is Donna Brown. I'm an Access Consciousness Facilitator, Bars Facelift Foundation, and this one's not for beginners, so let me just start that way. I'm not going to be explaining some of the clearings, I'm just going to be doing the clearings. And what I'm doing is I'm answering questions that people left for me throughout the month about relationships, because I said February was the month of relationships. March will be the month of money and luck. So most people, so I'm answering the questions. Most people want to live happily ever after. And you can if you choose to be happy no matter what shows up. And I mean no matter what shows up. You can choose to live happily ever after. You don't need someone in your life to create that. So everywhere you think you need someone to create a happily ever after, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Movies, books, songs, they show you false realities and relationships. And the ending insinuates that these people are going to live happily ever after. So when you write it, you have to have these two arcs of conflict before you get your protagonist and antagonist together, okay? That's the whole scripting of a movie, a book. Songs are different. I'm not sure how that works. Well, I've never really looked at it. Let me put it that way. So, in our reality, if you have those struggles showing up, then are you creating, is that a creationship? Is that what this reality is telling you is real and true? Or is it false? So everywhere you believe in happily ever afters, but you have to get them like a book or a movie, can you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And the reason why we wouldn't finish after the two actually get together, we don't finish the book, it'd be called a saga then, and everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere you've been living your life as a saga, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I mean, really look at people's relationships and who has great relationships. I've seen times in people's relationship that it was working, and then, 10 years, 15 years, then it wasn't working, and it seems to drag on a little bit longer before they actually end it. And some people don't ever end it. They just live in the misery, and they call that love. So all your definitions of love, can you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate them all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So happily ever after is really not real. So what do you love about creating the unrealities of happily ever after as the reality you call the unrealities of life, exactly as the linearities and concentricities they are? Everything that is, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. When I'm asking you that question, it brings up the energy, and then I'm using the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. I'll have a link below to that. So I'm going to run that a couple of times. But really, this should be run like 10 to 15 times when you're thinking about happily ever after. So what do you love about creating the unrealities of happily ever after as the reality you call the unrealities of life, exactly as the linearities and concentricities they are? Everything that is, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What do you love about creating the unrealities of happily ever after as the reality you call the unrealities of life, exactly as the linearities and concentricities they are? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What fictionalized reality are you using to create the relationships you're choosing? What fictionalized reality are you using to create the relationships you're choosing? What fictionalized reality are you using to create the relationships you are choosing? And all the SHIKU implants and explants holding that in place, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So that kind of takes care of the happily ever afters and the fictionalized realities that people asked questions about. And then someone said, well, they never see me. And my question is that people don't see you for who you are. And my question is, who are you? Do you see you for who you are? And everything that is or that isn't, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because we hide lots of parts of us from people. And we don't really want to see them. But then we say, gee, they don't see us. So all the secret agendas you have to being seen but really not being seen, or being heard but not really being heard, can you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So if you're going to go into a conversation with somebody, your insignificant other, and you want to be seen and you want to be heard, you ask, how can I be seen and heard today? It's a question. You ask the question before you start the conversation. How can I be seen and heard today? And before you do that, make sure you really want to be seen and heard, because you know they can hear you and say, you're full of shit, I'm not doing that, or I don't want to do that, or you're crazy, or whatever. They're not going to, being seen and being heard doesn't mean it's from your point of view, because they're going to have a different point of view than you have a point of view. So you ask, how can I be seen and heard today? You know you've said what you needed to say, and they may or may not accept it. And really not going into judgment about it will get you out of wanting someone to see you. Because there's no judgment. You did what you had to do, you said what you had to say, and they heard what they heard. So in most relationships, we push people away. Without even realizing it, we push people away. And we have all these requirements and desirements that will lead to false reality. So everything that is right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So in relationship, we'll push people away. So instead, when you're in a relationship or a creationship, lower your barriers and invite someone to show up with no judgment. That means you don't judge them. They're going to judge you. That means you don't judge them. So right now, I'm inviting people to show up for a creationship. What does that mean? So there's some things I'd like people to help me with in my business. That would be a creationship. You know, there may be a partner creationship where there's sex. There may be a creationship. I'm just inviting people to show up for creationship. So it could show up in a lot of different ways, and it will show up when it shows up. Now, another thing that people said is, I want to be validated. And surprise, surprise, nobody can validate you. Really, nobody can validate you but you. So here's the clearing for that. What validation of you are you absolutely, totally, eternally, irrevocably, infinitely, and utterly rejecting that you truly could be injecting, that if you would inject it would change all realities and non-realities and manifest as you being and having the total joy of you every second of every day? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I'm going to do it a couple more times. What validation of you are you absolutely, totally, eternally, irrevocably, infinitely, and utterly rejecting that you truly could be injecting, that if you would inject it would change all realities and non-realities and manifest as you being and having the total joy of you every second of every day? Everything that is times God's name, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. What validation of you are you absolutely, totally, eternally, irrevocably, infinitely, and utterly rejecting that you truly could be injecting, that if you would inject it would change all realities and non-realities and manifest as you being and having the total joy of you every second of every day? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, you know, sometimes we have these little fantasies and insanities where we're running away with, where the person that we're with is running away with somebody else. And so I say to you, if you have that fantasy, my God, you just dodged a bullet. What a superpower, right? But for that, I have a different clearing. So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities can I be to be a renegade, a romantic realist who takes one for the team and gets shot through the heart for all eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion we destroy and uncreate it all. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I like that one. So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities can I be to be a renegade, romantic realist who takes one for the team and gets shot through the heart for all eternity? Everything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can I be to be a renegade, romantic realist who takes one for the team and gets shot through the heart for all eternity? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So you're saying, but that's what I'm already doing. I'm getting shot through the heart and I'm taking one for the team, and my guy or my girl is running off with my best friend, right? Okay. When we do these things, we've locked it in, and when we're doing the energy, space, consciousness, and choice clearings, we actually start unlocking renegade, romantic, being a realist, okay? So you want to be you can be a realist, and would a realist get shot through the heart and take one for the team? No. A realist would say, oh, this isn't working for me. Bye-bye. So a lot of times when we don't know what to do, we find someone who isn't good for us or who isn't nurturing us that will distract us from everything we can create. So here's another one. This person will see my toenails aren't clipped, and they'll run off with my money and my best friend, who has uglier feet than me, and I'll be left sobbing into my pillow for the next 20 years. Everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So we have these little scenarios. We call them Pico Realities, and they're like daydreams that we have. And they're daydreams where it's like they're going to run off, they're going to do this to me, they're going to do that to me, okay? Those are fantasies and insanities. So all the fantasies and insanities you're running in your Pico Realities, can you destroy and uncreate them all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And we have these things that we clear. So the question you would ask when you start going into one of your insanities and fantasies, clearing it's one thing, but really you need to ask a question to break the cycle of it. What am I trying to create with this? So you're thinking about that fantasy or insanity, that daydream that you have, and you create a whole reality in your head, and you use this every time you go into your insane brain, and every time you have a thought, feeling, or emotion that's creating the daydream about rejection of you, ask yourself, what am I trying to create with this? Okay? So this person will see my toenails aren't clipped, and they'll run off with my money and my best friend who has uglier feet than me, and I'll be left sobbing in my pillow for the next 20 years. And everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. What am I trying to create with this? Because you're recreating something from the past, you're recreating something from another lifetime, you're recreating something. So what am I trying to create with this? And that helps you stay out of your head. So Pico Realities do not create your life. People think that's manifesting. So like I'll have this daydream about I'm driving this car and I'm going down the road and I pick up the perfect fellow and whatever. That's not manifestation. You're not creating something with that. Because if you have a daydream of the perfect person who's going to show up, when you made him perfect, that's a judgment. And who's perfect? And what's right about being perfect? What's wrong about being perfect? You're not asking questions like, what if, and what else is possible? So, what am I creating with this? What am I creating with this? It's a really good question. I used to go into my head all the time. Now I go in when I'm creating actual stories that I'm writing, what's going to happen next, and I'm putting them down on paper. So I'm actually creating a product with the things I'm pulling out of my head. Whereas before I used to have, like one time I asked my husband what he thought about, and he's like, saving the world, being like a James Bond, except I'm going to be this guy, James Bond, and I'm going to be whatever. He even had a name. It's cute. And that was a Pico reality that he was living in. And did he ever save the world? Well, he was military, so there's probably parts of his job where he did save something, right? But it didn't create, he didn't become James Bond, he didn't work out, he didn't do any of that stuff. That's a Pico reality. And all of us live there. And when we really start doing more access, we stop living in the Pico realities and we start creating our reality. And that's one of the things that it means, creating your reality. What would you like to see in your reality? So, what are you choosing? What else is possible? What if? Somebody asked about platonic relationships. Platonic relationships. So, here's the clearing for if you keep attracting platonic relationships. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equal MC squared as a judgment and rejection tool to make other people receive you the way you decided they need to receive you? Are you choosing? Everything that is times of God's enemy, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equal MC squared as a judgment and rejection tool to make other people receive you the way you decided they need to receive you? Are you choosing? Everything that is times Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equal MC squared as a judgment and rejection tool to make other people receive you the way you decided they need to receive you? Are you choosing? Everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So when I was doing this, I was pulling some stuff out of the reference material, and I found an awesome question. Is he or she available for what I'm looking for? So when you meet the person, before you end up in this 6-month platonic relationship and you keep wondering, where's it going? And it's never going anywhere. Is he or she available for what I'm looking for? So I met somebody at Aldi's. It was an interesting situation, and then things kind of went south. And I was just being open to a possibility. I didn't ask a whole lot of questions other than I think I wanted an adventure. I don't know what question I asked that day, and that manifested. Okay. So now before I give someone my number or I actually commit to going somewhere to meeting them, is he or she available for what I'm looking for? Good question. Like best. Oh, I was like, I'm so excited about this question. So, thank you for asking your question so I can get my question, the question that I'm really, really looking for. So those of you who end up in platonic relationships, or you're actually, I know somebody that's looking to get married. She wants to have a baby, and she would like to be in a relationship that's a marriage to have this. Okay, that's what she's looking for. So with these guys that are flirting with her, she could just ask, is he or she available for is this man in front of me available for what I'm looking for? And then get the energy of it. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it light? And then go from there. Because if that's what you're looking for, and you want a baby and you're on some kind of biological clock in your mind, which of course you can have a baby at whenever, right? I mean, that clock is where you're being in this reality. But if you ask that question, you are not wasting your time, because gosh, what happens if you want to have a baby by the time you're 35, and that's a decision, and I would destroy and uncreate the decision But let's just say this is what you're looking for, is a relationship with a baby. You don't want to be spending a year with somebody that's not going to commit, and then another year with somebody that's not going to commit, and another year with somebody that's not going to commit. So the question is he or she available for what I'm looking for, is a awesome question. So we do a lot of clearing, and when you're first doing access, you're just clearing everything. And then you start getting the sense that if I ask a question, I can start moving the quantum entanglements to give me what I'm looking for as I'm asking this question. And I don't have to keep clearing because I don't keep going back into those old loops. And then the very last clearing I'm going to do is for Alicia. And she asked me for a clearing on struggle. So I was looking that up. And it's real interesting, Alicia. You're going to love this. Struggle makes you real in this reality. I was like, say what? So everything that is or isn't, can you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And here is the clearing. How many fantasies with struggle do you have to make you real in this reality? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many fantasies with struggle do you have to make you real in this reality? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many fantasies with struggle do you have to make you real in this reality? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. This is our last one for the month of love. There will be other relationship clearings as I go, but not for next month. So you know you can go back to anything in February and listen to it again. I want to thank you for signing up. I want to thank you for your questions. They do help me create the content that I am giving people. So you're creating that. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.